Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as
Hello, bonjour, and bonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, more especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Dr. Riel Nkunene, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in the chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to achieve from our podcast. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share some nuggets on how to maintain a solid mental health. How to maintain a solid mental health. So in Georgia, we have Kendra Williams. And in Arizona, we have Pastor Tammy Barron. In New Jersey, we have Dr. Susie Miwezi-Zwick. And we also have Jimmy Clare. And then in North Carolina, we have Aparna Venka Sherman. So at this moment, I'll just let our speakers to introduce themselves. So you can go ahead, Kendra.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kendra Williams. I'm from Columbus, Georgia. I'm a licensed professional counselor. And in my profession, I help children and at-risk youth in the community. Nice to meet you.
Oh, wow. It's such a great honor to have you. You say Chandra, it looks K, but it sounds C. Now I know. It's such a great honor to have you on
Thank
board.
you so much.
You can go ahead, Pastor Tammy, and introduce yourself, please.
Good morning. My name is Pastor Tammy. We are from Phoenix, Arizona. I just want to thank you all for being a part of this great collaboration of mine. I will let you know that we are, I've also been in administration and healthcare for more than 30 years. And part of that has been behavioral health and mental or medical integration. So I'm very excited to be here and thank you all.
Wow, it's such a great honor to have you, Pastor Tammy, and I'm looking forward to hear more of your message. You can go ahead, Dr. Let me say your last name, Dr. Miwezi-Zwick. Did I say it right?
Yes, very good. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Susie Miwezi-Zwick, and I am broadcasting from Southern California. And I am a retired teacher, author, and speaker, and also an entrepreneur. And I help my clients to become pain-free without any drugs And I'm also a facilitator, an empowerment facilitator, so that I can help them to live their best life.
Oh, wow. It's such a great honor to have you, Dr. Music, and I'm looking forward to hear more of your message. You can go ahead, Jimmy, and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Clare. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm an autism advocate, motivational speaker, and author and founder of crazyfitnessguy.com.
Wow, it's such a great honor to have you, Jimmy, on this platform. And yes, I'm waiting for that message. I'm waiting for that message that you're going to share today. You can go ahead, Aparna, and introduce yourself, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aparna Venkatraman. I'm a parent coach and meditation breathwork teacher, the founder of Beauty and Parenting. I've been supporting families for 20 years now in my life, and I help them to relieve stress through mindfulness and creating healthy boundaries in life. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Aparna, I'm looking forward to hear more of your message, and thank you for saying yes. It's such a great honor to have you on this platform.
Thank you.
So, Chandra, I have a question for you. If you happen to have your own billboard, I can see your billboard coming down there in the busy highway in Georgia. What will your billboard say?
It would say, with faith, perseverance, and patience, anything is possible.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Anything is possible. Anything is possible if you put your mindset in there that, you know what, whatsoever I'm going through, I'm going to achieve it. It's possible. Wow, I love it. How about you? How about you, Pastor Tammy? What will your billboard say? You're muted. You're muted. There you go.
Sorry about that. I would have to say that it would say got Jesus, because I believe that no matter where you're from, what situation you're in, what circumstances have presented to you in life, with Jesus, he's just a great settler of all things. And we find hope and promise as well as direction, not only through prayer and his word, but also that interaction with other people that bring us together and make us whole. So that would be my favorite billboard. You bet.
Wow, wow, yes, from possibilities to believing that, you know, with Jesus, with God, all things are possible. You know,
Amen.
his will is unchanging. His will is so unchanging. Wow, I love it. I love it. How about you, Dr. Mierswyk? Maybe your billboard is already down there. I don't know. What will your billboard say? Unmute yourself.
Mute. Yes, my billboard would say, you are enough. You are not your past. No matter what kind of tragedies, turmoil, and trouble you've been through, I can show you 3 steps to navigate through those situations into your beautiful life.
You are enough. You are just enough. Just be yourself in a world where this world is trying to change us day by day. But you know what? You are enough. Just be yourself. I love it. I love it. How about you, Jimmy? What will your billboard say?
My billboard would say, very persistent, can overcome anything that you set your mind to.
Ooh, I love it. You can become anything that you just set your mindset into. All these billboards, they connect together. Let's hear Aparna's billboard. Maybe it's gonna be different. What will your billboard say?
Yeah, these are wonderful billboards. Mine would say, you got this. You're doing the best you can. Compassion is here. I'm all about compassion.
See, you've got this. Just
Yeah.
like Nike saying that, just do it. Do it. You've got this. You've got the energy inside of you. The power is within. It's not from the outside world. You've got this. You can do it. I love all of the billboards, by the way. So I believe mine will be the 6th billboard driving down the highway. And you know what? It's going to say what? the sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. And guess what? It's coming. It's definitely coming. You'll see it up there. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna fly to the state of Georgia, where the peaches are. I don't know, but I've seen more peaches in Georgia. I don't know. Maybe Chandra can tell us. Anyways, we're gonna get started with Chandra Williams. Chandra Williams, she is a licensed professional counselor and a life coach from Columbus, Georgia. Growing up as a military child and her early years in grade school made a significant impact in her life, in her future, sorry. She overcame adversity in academic challenges, but her faith in God brought her through those difficult times and challenges. As a result, she is passionate about helping individuals know to strive for greatness in all areas of their lives. She began to change her work ethic to become successful in her present careers as a licensed professional counselor, master clinician, as well as hold on, I don't know what's happening today. As well as in business and coaching. I apologize about that. The bios, they just messed me up. As a clinician, she conducts weekly sessions with clients to discuss emotional, behavioral, as well as psychosocial problems and challenges that they face from past trauma. They may be having, oh my goodness, just give me 1 second. Something is wrong here. Okay, throughout her career, she conducted Senator John Ossoff, Senator Raphael Warnock, and the U.S. Representative Sanford Bishop for the Georgia State Counseling Combat Bill. She also advocated for and supported the now passed proposed legislation from the state of Georgia to enhance funding for the advancement of mental health services. She is humble, proud of her accomplishments, and hopes to inspire individuals around the world. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Chandra Williams.
Thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome. Yes, I'm excited to be able to talk with you all today about mental health and the effects of mental health. So first of all, just thinking about mental health, I know there's a stigma around it. So just thinking about, our everyday life, getting up in the morning and not thinking about, our everyday struggles and the things that we come across every day can be challenging. So we have to, make sure that we wake up in the right way, meditate, and also not let the negative experiences that we've had yesterday and potential ones that we will have today affect us negatively. So some examples of this can be our job, going to our job every day, maybe dealing with a difficult boss, and children, coming home to children, thinking about debt, and family issues. It could be family, our immediate family that is across seas and just in the States. So just dealing with that, I would say, can be a difficult process as we navigate our everyday lives, as well as our relationships, dealing with relationship breakups, and maybe a parent is sick, having children that are struggling in school, and having to deal with that on top of our bills, worrying about what we're going to pay, and our kids' behavioral issues as far as their relationships can be with people with social media. So I would say that are some things that can negatively impact us in our everyday lives. And as well, there are positive habits that we can create as well to keep going throughout our days. And some of it, you may not think it could be positive, but I would say music is positive. Having an upbeat spirit, meditating, praying, I would say as well, and just making sure that you have a routine schedule that you can have throughout each day. And if you don't have one, to try to create it. So it is important that we have a mindset shift to create change as well. So I would say that change can be not thinking about our past, replaying scenarios in our minds every day that can definitely have a negative impact on us, as well as dealing with rejections of missed opportunities that we didn't take, and rejections from people that we were in love with and that broke our hearts as well. So it's important to, number two, create your own reality. And with this, you want to be the change that you want to see in the world. And so I would say that you can look at other people as an example of what you want to be. And that can be a positive example, and say, you know, this person, they were this way, but they did change. So I feel like by their example that I can talk with them and try to see how they changed, and maybe that is something that I can do for myself as well. And with that change, you can inspire other people to change as well. So it's like creating a ripple effect, and something that keeps on going, to have other people say, you know, they changed and I want to be in this position as well. And it's important to know that you don't have to have it all together each day. And I know sometimes we can be hard on ourselves and think, you know, I made this mistake, but it's just about just forgiving yourself and say, not thinking about the past, I can keep going and I can make a change for the future. So it's all about shifting our paradigm, I would say, to be better as well. And it's important to seek therapy. I know that this is a stigma in a lot of communities, but it has gotten better over time. So I would say that people, they're more open to it than what they were previously. So I would say that that's a good trend that I see, as well as being a counselor. And it's important to do a self-assessment, you know, of yourself every day, you know, checking in with yourself to make sure, say, okay, you know, maybe I didn't feel good today, but what is something that I can do to make my day better, so your day doesn't have to end the way it started. And so I would say that, you know, it's important to have allies and advocates in the counseling field. And, you know, what I did earlier with the senators, it really has made a great impact. So we definitely need organizations and associations to, you know, to continue to build with the mental health funding in our countries. So that's what I would say. And yeah, it's definitely an important conversation. And I thank you so much for inviting me today to have that conversation.
Chandra, I almost said it. Thank you so much for sharing such a profound message. You've mentioned exactly how mental health, it really affects our daily living, it's because of the mindset. You've mentioned that we'll have to kind of shift our mindset to create change in seeking help, the way you are dealing with the youth, the way you are doing your job. We'll have to do the same thing. We'll have to seek for professional help wherever it's needed. Thank you so much, Chandra, for sharing such a profound, much needed message.
Thank you.
So now we are going to Arizona, where we have Pastor Tammy Barron. Pastor Tammy Barron and her husband, Salvador, are evangelistic pastors from Arizona. Tammy is known for her love for God's presence, passionate heart for God's word, and genuine love for people, traveling local and abroad just to empower the body of Christ. Being raised in church, she surrounded her life in God's word and prayer, establishing her foundation in Jesus Christ. So Tammy is a new best-selling author in the USA as well as globally. She's an accomplished vocalist as well as a recording artist. She continues to appear on television and podcast, as well as she has traveled throughout her life on the West Coast as well as Canada, ministering to all genres of people. So traveling to partner with groups like Bill Glass Crusades, as well as Prison Fellowship. Today, this passion has expanded to online broadcast and guest appearances around the world, spreading the good news of Jesus Christ. So Tammy has worked in healthcare for over 30 years, and she believes God uses this avenue. God uses this avenue to reach the hurting, the sick, as well as the broken. So Tammy has one of the most intense and powerful testimonies. It is filled with the reality that God is in control, even when we are not. Countless miracles, signs, and wonders tell of God's benevolent power in her life. So Tammy states in her latest book that nothing is impossible with God. No matter what you've been through, what the situation looks like, you can be healed, you can be restored, and totally set free. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Pastor Tammy Burren.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here this morning. What an opportunity just to love on people. Amen. I want to first just piggyback off of my friend Chandra. Chandra, you touched my heart with the words of empowerment that you shared with us this morning. You know, I want to first say from the body of Christ that mental health is not a stigma that we as believers should tell people that it's because you have mental illness or mental health crisis that Jesus is less alive in your life. That this is, you know, this comes from a past of primitive beliefs that, you know, we were taught that you must be directly related. It's got to be directly related to Satan himself, right? But I believe that we live in a very challenging life. As Chandra brought up, we live in a very fluid reality that is constantly changing. And because of this, I believe this is why we are seeing many people who are undereducated in biblical principle in the church, just blaming everything on the devil and not looking at our current situations. So I want to encourage everyone that when we see people in crisis, when we see people that are full of anxiety or going through depression, you know, please do not allude that this is because of something they did wrong, or that something that somebody failed to do right, because I believe that God wants to take every single situation that we're going through. According to Romans 8:28, God says that he'll use all things for his glory, all things that you experience. Looking at statistics, I want us to look at two different realities, one from a biblical perspective, one from the Surgeon General has reported that it is incredibly a reality that we live in, that 1 out of 5 children, they are having a crisis, whether it's emotional, behavioral, mental, whether they're facing anxiety, depression, ADHD, whatever these cases may be. This is their real reality on a day-to-day basis. This has gone much higher. This was a statistic based on 2019. So we can imagine even after COVID, how much more this has increased people's mental health dilemmas, amen? And the reality that it was only 3% prior to 2019. So we are seeing a vast increase. One of the things I would really like to impart to you all is that there are things that we can do to help support our communities. As Chandra brought up, and it's a real reality in my healthcare facility, as well as throughout the nation of behavioral health and mental or medical care, is we are now embarking on a collaboration with the health industry to collaborate together and what we call integration. So if you have family members, if there are children who are teenagers, and it is a big deal, folks, to ask these young people to go to a facility that says it's behavioral health, right? They don't want their friends to see them in that light. So what a lot of our medical facilities are doing today, which I'm really excited about this, is they're integrating with behavioral health support, counselors, psychiatric people, different people, as one of my colleagues will begin to share with autism, to remove that stigma that being totally whole is a good thing. It's a positive thing. And they can now go to their medical practitioner and be seen for their mental health. And nobody knows why they're there. They think they might be going to get their wellness exam done, but in reality, maybe they're attending their counseling sessions. So I want to encourage you as parents, as young adults that might be listening, as grandparents, do your research, know what is out in your communities, because it's changing. And I think the entire panel will agree. Every year we're changing, we're evolving. And I want to just be mindful in this moment that look for the signs. Adults, it's our responsibility to look for the signs in our young adults, in our children, because many times they don't understand what's transpiring in their lives, their minds, their bodies. For girls, I know that anxiety and depression and eating disorders are common when they're struggling with a mental health crisis. I was one of those girls. I struggled in high school with, I was one of those type A personalities that was that drive. I had to be perfect. I drove myself literally to the point where I was in the crux of an eating disorder, and I did not realize that was part of a mental health issue, and nobody talked about it back then, and it was very hard to navigate as a young adult, but with our boys, it is more common for them to fall into suicidal ideation, behavioral issues with ADHD as well. So we are different. We are very different, but yet we're all the same. And we need to allow one another to infiltrate that barrier of stigmatism and realize this is not a God thing. This is not a devil thing. This is a people thing. And I want to just add this layer, bringing in God's word into this. If we will be real with ourselves, in the book of Kings, 2 Kings, we'll see that even Elijah, he had asked the Lord that he wanted to die. He was having suicidal thoughts. He did not want to pursue life. And sometimes all we need is some rest and some good food. And the Lord allowed God to come into Elijah's circle, his place, because no one was there to help him. But God brought him rest, and God brought him good food. And that was enough to get Elijah through another day. Now, I'm not saying rest and good food's for everyone, but what I am saying is that we need to be more thoughtful and more diligent to look for the things, as Chandra said. Maybe it's some good music, and maybe it might even be somebody's comfort in their relationship. But we need to be aware that this is a real epidemic out here, and we have the tools, we have the know-how, and we have the people and the love for the people to make a difference. I just want to encourage you all to keep fighting the good fight. And if I could leave anybody with these thoughts, this would be my heart for you, because this is what God shared with me when I have gone through my struggles with different types of ailments throughout my life, is as a man thinketh, so is he. I had to go through my day, waking up, starting my day with the proper affirmation over my life. If I thought about yesterday, I would fail. If I thought about tomorrow, I would fail. So I had to be mindful to just take it one day at a time, one moment at a time, and one day in my morning at a time, realizing that today is the day that the Lord has made. And no matter how I feel, I'm still going to rejoice and be glad in it. And that kicks my day off every day on the right foot. So I want to thank you for having me today. And I pray that all of you are most effective where God is leading you in your workplaces.
Wow, wow, Pastor Tammy, I was like, preach on, Pastor, preach. Like behind
Amen.
you. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time for your own mental health. You've mentioned that we should look for signs. If anyone is struggling with any mental health illness, we can just pinpoint. And you've mentioned that boys are different from girls. ADHD is mostly high on boys than girls. Why? Because they were meant to be leaders. They were meant to be the one at the forefront. That's the reason why our boys are just going through this. Wow, what a profound message. And to incorporate with your biblical experience to this. Wow, it's really, really amazing. Thank you so much, Pastor Tammy, for such a profound, much needed message.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So now we are going to Dr. Susie Miłeszik. Yeah. So Dr. Susie Miłeszik she retired from teaching after 26 years. She has a BA in English from Montclair State University and an MBA from Golden Gate University. And she was recently awarded an honorary doctorate of humanitarianism from the Global International Alliance in London, United Kingdom. She has been an entrepreneur since 2012, helping clients eliminate pain without drugs using a patented form of phototherapy. Wow, English is not my first language. There are many applications for this technology, including non-drug pain relief, stem cell regeneration, natural sleep, and more. She is also an author, speaker, empowerment facilitator, and Dr. Susie has collaborated on 3 books during 2022, just that year alone. And she also self-published her memoir, Sow in Tears and Reap in Joy, which is a transformational journey. She shows her readers 3 strategies to navigate life when it gets derailed. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Dr. Susie Miłeszik.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kunene, for having me on this panel. And I hear the same kind of empowerment messages from Chandra and Dr. Tammy that I realized in my own journey. And I grew up on the East Coast as a child without a voice. Now, I was able to speak, but I felt like a little bobblehead on a body. I didn't have any emotions because emotions were not allowed in my family. Emotions were not allowed in my parents' family. I was very depressed when I was growing up because I couldn't speak out. I didn't have a sense of myself. This depression carried through into my young years. But what I did was I kept a little journal, a little diary, which I discovered was a way of coping with not having any emotional support in my life. I escaped from this non-entity that I was feeling. And when I went to college, I found somebody who I latched onto. He was going to save me and take me into the wider world. He was Mr. Pilot. 2 years later, we got married. And at the beginning, it was okay. But then life carries on. And he traveled around the world, leaving me and 2 little girls to deal with everything that comes upon us. I was unable to speak my feelings to him, and he was not able to communicate with me. We were both from dysfunctional families. We know that term, meaning we can't get in touch with our emotions in a healthy way. So when he gave me the divorce papers, I was broken, I was crushed, but I reached out to God. I remembered when I was a young mom and I had a newborn and nobody was available to take care of her. My first strategy was reach out to God, because I said, God, who's going to help me take care of this baby? There's nobody here. Someone came forth from the community I didn't know, so I knew that God was answering. So many years later, when I found myself a broken, divorced woman with 2 children, I again reached out to God. I said, God, help me to get through my day. And I would be driving to work to teach the children. Sometimes I would actually be crying in class, but I was a kindergarten teacher, so tears are fairly acceptable. However, I prayed that the Lord would restore my marriage, because I thought, well, marriage is till death do us part. That's the way it's supposed to be. But after 6 months, I realized God had another plan. So I walked through that new door. I knew that it was true. The Lord's word was true. It says in Jeremiah 29:11, I have a plan for you, said the Lord, a plan to heal you and not to harm you, a plan to prosper you and give you hope in a future. So keeping that in mind, I went forward in my journey. I was able to heal, to eventually find a new partner, but that's only part of the story. I was also a teacher, enabling children that were kindergartners to find their way in life. When I started to write my journey, which is in sow in tears, reap in joy, which is a phrase from the Bible, the idea behind it was, I am enough. I had never felt like I was enough in my whole life, because I had never been given any tools, any confidence, any empowering. But I all my life prayed about it, as my former panel members have said, but I also looked inside, because I realized that whatever we're going through in life, we have to assess where we are. What am I lacking? What skills do I need to learn? So then, as my fellow panelists have said, Dr. Chandra and Dr. Tammy, I looked for help. Mental health. I knew that I was plagued by depression, but I also looked around and I said, I came from a family where depression was also common. I realized at that time that mental health, just like physical health in our genes, is also hereditary, in a sense that these are the patterns we learn. This is the kind of family we grow up in. If we have an emotional void in our life, we can often look back into our immediate biological family, which is where I found a lot of dysfunction. So looking into myself, I realized I needed therapy. I reached out to my Bible study friends. I had a divorce recovery group. I volunteered. So in all these ways, I was able to grow myself. I also realized I needed information that I didn't have. So in my book, I also share with the reader a bibliography of tools people can use to navigate through situations, like boundaries and codependency and resilience. These were tools that I found when I was in my own crisis. So as time went on, I was able to look at the bigger picture and see it's not about me. I was suffering. I was looking for help and seeking help, but I was also looking for a supportive community. My birth family was not supportive from the beginning, during the divorce, and then later on. Basically, I was on my own, but I had to find a community, which I found in my church community, my Bible study, my women's ministry, recovery group, exercise partners. All of these strategies enabled me to get help and support and appropriate validation. where I couldn't find it in my birth family. So when I wrote my book, I realized that this was just about my journey, but it's really about all of our journey. We have various hills and valleys that we travel to through our life, whether it's health crises, family crisis, financial crisis, relationship crisis. Those things will be strung along throughout our life. But if we can look up to God for our strength, our power, our hope, then we look in, because we have to seek, what do I need to learn? We're on a journey. We might not have had appropriate parenting, but I realized that it's not my parents' fault. I didn't stay in blame, because they were broken pieces in a long chain that no one was able to help. But I was determined that I was going to rise above that, rise above my past, to help myself to heal. Then I was able to put my hand out and help others. So in my journey since retirement from teaching, I have a business that helps people to gain better health, but without drugs, because it was something that was prevented to me when I was in pain. I also realized there's a connection between physical pain and emotional pain. Throughout my life, I was under considerable physical pain from various ailments, but that made me feel like I was carrying the whole world on my shoulders. And I think that my fellow panelists would agree with that, that when you struggle with mental issues, you can't really thrive because it's so overwhelming to you. So I would just like to leave 3 ideas with my audience. No matter what you're going through life, you look up to God for guidance. You look within to yourself. You don't play the blame game, because you don't want to be stuck 10 years from now, sitting on your couch in the same place, just feeling sorry for yourself with your beer in your hand. But you have to learn your lessons. Then you need to reach out to appropriate mental health, spiritual health, people that have your best interest at heart, knowing that the Lord is going to work out his mighty plan through our brokenness.
Wow, wow, Dr. Mierzwick,
Mierzwick.
wow, you've just nailed it. In times of your struggle, in times of your pain, in times of your suffering, look up to God first, and look in, and then look out. Reach out for help. You need help in order for you to heal through what you're going through. Wow, what a profound message. And I am really looking forward to lay my hands in that book for sure. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
much, Dr. Susie. So now we're gonna move to Jimmy Clare. He's actually gonna introduce himself, but at this moment, Jimmy Clare, he's gonna share like a powerful message around autism. So Jimmy, the stage is yours, my brother.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Clare from Pennsylvania. So growing up with autism, it was far from easy whatsoever. I grew up in a school district that didn't know how to navigate autism. I also dealt with bullying for 8 years of hell, and I was also dealt with cards that I felt like I always got the short end of the stick. I have spinal stenosis in my upper area of my neck, which makes it hard for me to move my neck left and right, up and down. And you probably might be thinking, well, it must really suck to drive with that too, because it kind of does, especially because there's sometimes looking left and right. It's like, I can't see behind this tree while I'm driving, because my neck, I can't move. I literally have to twist my whole body just to do that. But on top of that, I also went through 9-year surgeries and a bunch of naysayers who said I wouldn't be able to read higher than a 2nd grade level because I'm autistic. Well, fast forward to where I am today. Well, I like to say to those naysayers, look at me now. And it hasn't all been easy. And I always like to say to everybody I meet on different shows and podcasts and live appearances, what in life is ever easy? If it's easy, well, uh, if it's easy, well, everybody would do it. Everybody would succeed at everything. And and also, well, and I always felt like I was an outsider from everyone else. And and I just wanted to share this. Like, what's funny? Uh, my I saw something my on on my coffee table in my house that my school sends out these pamphlets every year, and they crack me up and say we include everyone in our supportive community. As well, years ago you never gave me any opportunities whatsoever. You just shunned me to whatever, to kept me as an outsider, treated me like I was some kind of a alien from outer space. And I moved on, but I kind of still hold a little bit of grudge because out of all the years I've been, when I was for 12 years of my life, let's say 8 of my years of public school, they told me only one person apologized to me in the whole school district, and that was it. So I was like, there's a lot of staff, there's a lot of administrations, and only one person can apologize. And so I kind of never really ever want to see that school ever again. But years later, I have overcome all those naysayers of everybody. I'm currently in college. I run my own business called Crazy Fitness Guy, and it's been up and running for almost 6 years. I also been featured in the Autism Parenting magazine. I've been on 146 podcasts. I've been on Australia Live TV, and I co-authored a book that recently was published in January 11th of this year. And I have to tell you, even going to school has been a challenge for me on the autism spectrum, but I've had a lot of support from my professors. I never thought I would be a published author, especially a published co-author. Excuse me, sorry. And when I first started college, my writing absolutely sucked. And even Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean couldn't find the treasure map at the end of the treasure because I had so many different X's, different crossed outs on my paper. But my business started as a way to start as a self-improvement project and turn into something more. And just to leave with everyone is don't put labels on people. And just because the data shows that people with autism will have a hard and challenging life, doesn't mean whose life is not challenging. You got skywalker inflation, not to rain on anybody's parade, but just saying in general, high inflation, high gas prices, high food costs, etc. So everybody's going through a struggle. Don't put so many struggles on. Don't label people because who's autistic. Don't and treat people the way that you want to be treated. And if they need help, give them extra help, be supportive, and don't judge people because you never know what they're going through. And to be honest, all the stuff I've gone through, I still get nightmares from some of the things that was done, let's say, behind closed doors, and I can't say any names. Boy, I wish.
Wow, wow, Jimmy, you know what? You are such an inspiration. Thank you for being the voice for the voiceless, for being an advocate on what you went through and where you are today. I'm like, wow, you are truly, truly an inspiration. So thank you so much for the work that you are doing behind closed doors, being an advocate for autism, being an advocate for those who can stand for themselves. It's really, really an inspiration to me. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for sharing your life experience and how you overcame it and where you are and where you are going. Really, the future really, really looks bright on your end. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you.
Mhm. Now we are going to North Carolina, where we have Aparna Venkatraman. Aparna Venkatraman, having 20 years of experience connecting with thousands of families in schools, children's hospitals, nonprofit organizations since her teens. Aparna Venkatraman is the founder of Beauty in Parenting and is a worldwide parent coach, meditation, breathwork teacher, motivational speaker, and a wellness advocate for doTERRA essential oils. With her approachable nature, strong intuition, and problem-solving skills, she guides parents of babies, toddlers, and teens, couples, and extended family to empower themselves and build healthy relationships with one another through effective communication, creating boundaries, self-care, confidence building, and light-hearted mindfulness techniques. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Aparna Venkatraman.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Rail. I'm so happy to be here. I so enjoyed hearing everyone's stories today on the panel and all of the ways and just beautiful forms of empowerment that exist today in the world for mental health, and especially in this pandemic. I am honored to be here to share my story of serving families for the last 20 years of my life, and it began from birth. I was someone who was a very premature baby, and I grew up spending a lot of time in the hospital and having issues with my health and my lung capacity. And I'm someone who went on to develop issues with being overly sensitive, being a highly sensitive child, being a very emotional child, and dealing with a lot of bullying in my childhood as well too. I grew up in a family life that was full of a lot of stress and a lot of resentment and anger, and a lot of the things that people would say to me in my years of just trying to be the best that I could really created an internal environment of internalizing what had happened to me. And so I grew up with a lung capacity that was not great. And I saw that a lot in my physical fitness and in my day-to-day life. And I developed a negative mindset of feeling really alone in life, unfortunately. And, you know, feeling really deep emotions of resentment and frustration and anger, but also someone who felt a lot of joy in life too, and really felt that. And so I support a lot of families who are highly sensitive and feel overwhelmed and feel anxious, because I've done work in children's hospitals with children in premature units, as I was in NICUs, in cancer units, especially in long-term stay. I've also supported families to find resources when they're at their lowest points in needing electricity and food and shelter and direction through the United Way, through the Boys and Girls Club, through child advocacy centers of supporting children who were abused, unfortunately. And later on in my years, I spent time as a toddler teacher, as a preschool teacher, seeing really what happens when we develop from a young age, our learning, our walking, our talking, seeing the behavioral issues that come up, and seeing the beautiful connection and presence that happens when we are a young child who is connected to ourselves. So my main purpose in life, I believe, is the beautiful one of not only having the role of being connected to God and finding God, and in knowing what unconditional love is, because I have connected to myself and found ways to do that, and supporting so many parents and grandparents and students and teens and younger children in ways that they can stay connected to themselves and create a relationship that is beautiful and full of trust and safety and awareness too. And so when I support families in creating healthy boundaries in life, I help them to become aware of usually what it means to feel sensitivities, to feel the environment around them, to know what feels good, and to help them develop a relationship with feeling, as we are in an external world of all these thoughts and to-do lists and all the things that we need to do and all the things that are stressing us out or making us feel anxious about the future or the past, and the things that we cling to when we can stay connected and most present these days. And so when I talk about being a highly sensitive person, I talk about someone who is wired a little bit differently to feel and experience life in a way that is beautiful, but you can take on so many things and not remember who you are with that. And I tend to work with a lot of people who feel the need to please people, to be people pleasers, and to not know where those boundaries lay in, and also internalizing the things that go on in our day, especially in our family life or in our career, and how that's affecting us, and letting it define us is a huge part of that too. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about that. If you are someone out there who is listening and you feel that you are feeling all the emotions and you're overstimulated, or your child is, especially, and what all of that means. Number two, a practice that I love to share with anyone that I'm supporting, whether that's through mindfulness or parent coaching, is knowing your priorities, values, and needs. Knowing what is at the top of your to-do list these days, knowing what you're prioritizing. That could be your family, that could be your work life right now, and knowing what your current needs are. And so with your needs, that can be, are you someone who is needing for yourself? Are you someone who's needing more peace in your life? Are you someone who's needing more connection time? Are you someone who's needing a change in your environment? Are you someone who is needing to see more success in your life as well? And knowing also your core values, I think, is a beautiful thing, especially with couples or from parent to child within the family. Knowing for yourself what you value the most in life. A lot of the clients I have supported have they've really valued family life and putting that over others and being around family a lot. They've valued success in their careers. They've valued, community time and really needing that. And I think that evolves over time, what we need the most. And so I think coming from a space of knowing that and also being able to communicate that with those who you need the most too, especially whether that's a partner or family or a supervisor, and just really role playing that is a beautiful thing. And so lastly, with breath work, which is a beautiful form of mindfulness that I teach. I also teach guided meditation, but breath work is the key thing that has been life-changing for me in my life. I learned this about, I would say 15 years ago in college. And that was when I was really into yoga at that time, one of my hardest semesters. And I learned breath work, or pranayama, when I really just had a lot of frustration and anger and stress come up for me. And it's a beautiful form of, increasing my lung capacity, thankfully, but also helping me to sleep better, helping me to be more mindful, helping me to just feel more grounded in life. And it helps me to slow down my response to stress and to feeling, irritated or anxious, or to reacting to someone, or, having those kinds of connections and communications that can be more stressful. And so I love to, teach this in ways that are shorter, just a couple of minutes, especially for parents who are low on time, and longer ones up to an hour or two for someone who really needs some deep rest. And I've supported clients who have, worked through PTSD, divorce, grief, trauma, dealing with health issues during the pandemic, and relationship issues, as well as helping their child, especially tweens and teens who are dealing with a lot in life, a lot of anxiety about the future, to really stay connected to themselves and create a practice, some sort of a self-care practice that supports them in staying heart-centered as well too. And it can be an easy practice of really just placing your hand on your heart and tuning into yourself, and closing your eyes for a few seconds and then exhaling as well too. And so I wanted to share these skills to help you remember that you are never alone, and that you have practices that you can access at any time that can be for you, and that self-care is a beautiful way to stay connected to yourself and better know yourself, so you can have that fulfilling relationship with yourself that can help you in life and to create these life skills. So thank you for letting me be here to share all of this. And I so support all of you in being your best self. Thank you so much.
Wow, Aparna, what a profound message. I just like the way you kind of guided us from being that hyperactive child,
Yeah.
on how you overcame it, and what we can do to deal with our own mental health issues through breath work, how it works, and everything. I'm gonna go back. I was just taking notes. And I'm like, oh, it's the end. But I will go back and watch the replay. What a profound message. Thank you so much, Aparna, for sharing such a profound message.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me share my story. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. So to our audience online, please feel free to reach out to all these amazing speakers. Chandra, she's shared everything on mindset, to shift your mindset to create change in seeking professional help. So reach out to her. And Pastor Tammy on the other side, she was like, you'll have to look for signs and help your relative, help your loved one. And Dr. Mierzwick, she was like, you'll have to look up, look within, and look out, and go out there and grab that book that she wrote. It's a transformational book, which is a transformational journey. Go out there, you see how beautiful it is. Go out there and get the book. Reach out to Jimmy if you are looking for that advocate who will stand for you. If you are, I call them the differently able individuals, because I believe Jimmy is the right person to reach out to. Go out there, reach out to Jimmy. Reach out to Aparna for all the breath work that you need. If you're a parent raising teens, raising toddlers, you need to reach out to Aparna. Good people, reach out to all these amazing speakers. If you have any questions to any of these speakers, please feel free to drop in the chat box. We'll come back. We're going to respond to all of your questions. But before we do that, I'm going to be the next speaker. So what I will do before I speak, I'm going to share my bio. Please enjoy my bio, then I will come back and speak.
I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. Really, my goal as a mentor or as a coach is so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to pursue success and drive sustainable.
I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view, Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Rial and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights.
Dr. Nampumelelo Rial Kunene is an international human rights policy analyst who consults on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance. She is a highly sought-after, energetic, certified Lace Brown international speaker. This passionate leader holds a PhD with a discipline in leadership and business. Dr. Rial N. Kunene is the author and host to Rise to Greater Heights, a book and YouTube channel to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. She is also a coach, mentor, and an MC, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. Her vision is not only to motivate, but also to empower audiences with a fresh perspective inspiration they require to pursue success and drive sustainable outcomes. In a seriously funny way, Dr. Kunene is an award-winning author, 10 times #1 Amazon and international best-selling author. Her #1 best-selling book, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As a trainer, diplomacy protocol officer, and strategist, Rial believes that we are in full control of our choices. Her mission is to meet the needs and transform lives of her clients and her audience. She is also a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations. Dr. Kunene's purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and help organizations understand and promote human rights. Her goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs, then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. This change maker, trailblazer, and revolutionary is pushing boundaries and creating a real change worldwide. Like a phoenix that never accepted defeat and rose from its own ashes, she wants to challenge you to unleash your greatness and rise to greater heights. Dr. Rial N. Kunene wears many hats. As a professional certified sales manager, CEO, certified travel counselor, publisher, medical esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for oaths, following her dreams gave her purpose to see her goals through and understand that she does have everything she needs to reach her full potential. Her everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40 keeps her to rise to greater heights. The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Dr. Rial N. Kunene.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. But before I continue, I just want to double check if I'm in the right platform here. How many of you with a raise of hand can say that, Rial, I have never, ever complained in life. Never, ever complained in life. Seemingly, I'm in the right platform because, you know, sometimes in life we go complaining about everything. Oh, the weather is really bad today. Traffic was worse than expected. My family drives me crazy sometimes. Oh, the movie was really disappointing. You name it. Though whining can be a way to build an inspiration, it can also keep us from acting. And it gives excuses time to procrastinate from achieving goals. One thing I've realized is that we usually complain in the wake of a negative situation. We tend to focus more on the problem than finding potential solutions. It's always much easier to complain than to find a solution. And individuals who whine on a regular basis, they are apt to have a bad health. So next time I'll find you complaining that, why do pizzas come in square boxes? Yet they're round. And funny enough, they're cut in triangles. Does that sound like you? Yeah, please write this down, Maintain a solid mental health. Maintain a solid mental health. Like Chandra, she mentioned that you will have to shift your mindset to create change in seeking professional help. And then Pastor Tammy on the other side, she was like, we'll have to look for signs. Look for signs if someone close to you is struggling with a mental health issue. Look for those signs. And then Dr. Mierswyk on the other side, she was like, in times of struggle, in times of pain, suffering, you'll have to look up to God, look within you, and look out, reach out for help. And then Jimmy on the other side, he mentioned everything on being autistic. He was like, being autistic, it impacts an individual's lives in many, many different ways. And he's an advocate for that. And on the other side, Aparna was like, you know what? It's not enough. You'll have to do some breath work in order for you to maintain a solid mental health. So I'm like, you'll have to maintain a solid mental health. So how do you do that? Whether you're struggling emotionally or you know someone who is, educate yourself about mental health illnesses, including substance use disorders. You'll have to know the facts and educate yourself. Educate yourself. You may ask me why. Why do I have to do that? Because knowledge is one of the best ways to combat stigma. So take every opportunity to get educated or share even your personal struggles with mental illness. It can help and save someone's life out there because you've decided to share what you went through. You've decided to share with that person your journey. Focus on the positive. What do I mean by saying this? I mean that you'll have to own your life and refuse to allow others to dictate how you view yourself. You are the one going through this. You are the one only experiencing this. So accept yourself, accept your situation as is, and seek for professional help. Good people, you really don't have to see the whole staircase in life to get to the top, but you need to take the first step to get to the top. As my mentor always say that you don't have to be great to get started, but you'll have to get started to become great in life. So get started today, seek professional help, talk about your situation. It's not a sign of weakness, but it's a sign of strength that you've got this now, you can do it. So you will have to fight stigma by choosing to live an empowered life. Like my everyday book always say that casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. So you'll have to do that. You cannot change the fact that, you know what, you have a mental illness. Remember that that emotional health conditions are treatable. So there is no need for you to struggle in silence. Go out there and speak up. Speak up against any mental illness, any mental health issues. Don't let the fear of being labeled with a mental illness prevent you seeking help. Why? I'm glad you've asked that, because at any time you spend trying to pretend it doesn't exist, this is only draining you of your valuable energy. So you'll have to speak out against stigma. A huge part of your recovery is coming to grips with who you are. So don't isolate yourself, but instead consider expressing your opinions. Reach out to people you trust for the compassion, for the support, for the understanding that you need while you're going through that difficult situation. Every day, in every possible way, we need to stand up to fight stigma. More importantly, I don't know what's happening with my video. I see the glitches, but now it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. More importantly, understanding mental illness, it paves the way for evidence-based therapies as well as treatment options. So often we think of the warning signs like being traditional, the traditional signs that, okay, they will isolate themselves from us, they will stop showing up at work. But the converse, it can also be true. How about the individuals who are always smiling, forever smiling, and they carry on a conversation as if their life is happy, when in reality they are just in their lowest spot. They feel like they are a burden on everyone, and nothing they are doing is ever going to be good enough. It is hard for them to open up to others about the depression that they are going through. So I'm going to share some points here. I'm going to share some points on how you can actually help that individual. Let me restart here. How you can actually help that individual who is just going through that depression, that emotional challenge that they are going through. Because if a loved one appears to have the signs of hidden depression, I call it that way, you can try to talk to them first. Try to talk to them about the symptoms that you are just observing in their lives, and offer a non-judgmental support and advice. supportive actions, it can also include like encouraging that person to seek treatment, offering to accompany them to their appointments, planning enjoyable activities together, exercising together, whatsoever that they enjoy doing, just do it with them, encouraging them to socialize with others. Because as flight attendants always say that, put on your oxygen mask first before you go out there and help the next person who is next to you. Because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to help will possibly go down. So get the knowledge today, educate yourself about mental health issues so that you'll be able to spot if an individual around you, your loved one, is going through those challenges and be the support system for them. Because the reality is your journey to be a better person, it starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core, it will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish all of your dreams. It will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach your full potential. So don't ever, ever give up on your heart's desires. Just recall this, just in case you can't find your way, you can have the drive within you to become what you really want in life. You know, I believe in affirmations most of the time. So we're going to affirm this as if like we have faith in our own powerful voice. And guess what? It's going to echo throughout the whole universe. So if you can place your left hand on your chest and raise your right hand and say it out loud as if you have faith in your own powerful voice. Say, I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Can you say it one more time? I can have the drive within me to get where I want to be in life. Yes, just give yourself a round of applause. You can have the drive within you to become what you wanna be in life, to get where you want to be in 2023, because it starts from the inside. It doesn't start from the outside. It has to start from the inside out. You'll have to fill up your cup first, and then from the overflow, that's when you can share with the world. You can have the drive within you. You can have the drive within you to achieve whatsoever you put your mindset in 2023. You know, it's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful name, Nompumelelo. I know many, when they try to say my name, they always butcher my name, but it has a beautiful meaning. My Nompumelelo, in my own language, it means mother of all success. So you can see that I am really, really challenged to chase after success. No matter what comes my way, I'll have to chase after success. So if I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve? Maybe, let me say, in the next 6 months. Yes, I know myself, I am also one of those people. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on a professional development. So as a coach or as a mentor, like many of us here, my goal is so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be experiencing by then. And then, you know what I do? I design a plan of inspired actions to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. That's my purpose. That's my goal. You know, it's so funny. When I was in the 8th grade, I'm gonna cut this story short. When I was in the 8th grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful again. Really, that English teacher, she didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me, and it also aligns with my destiny, because for those of you who don't know the phoenix bird, the phoenix is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestor, which represents our capacity for vision and success. I want to encourage you, if you're watching and listening under my voice today, that when your world comes crashing down, wear your scars to show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside, and trust in your own capability to rise from your own ashes, since the phoenix has to die, burn, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. Please write this down in conclusion. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. And I know you've heard this before, that your setback is your setup for your comeback. Your setback is your setup for your comeback. So if I can be honest with you, I don't know what goals you've set for the next 6 months. I don't know what dreams you have for your own future. But here is one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that with God, we're all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gift and following God's idea, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach to your full potential. My everyday inspiration, Mr. Les Brown, he once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, what skills, what talents, and what books will die with you? And the late Dr. Miles Monroe, he continued saying that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the goals, all the visions, all the skills, all the talents have been buried. Honestly, I don't know about you, but with me, all these messages, they stirred something within me. I remember it very well when I started writing my first book, Now 10. And then that was when I decided that you know what, I'm going to follow my dreams. That was when it gave me the purpose to see my goals through. And now I understand that I have everything I need to reach to my full potential. So in this year, I am so determined to rise to greater heights. You know what? With 2023, motivated individuals ready to rise from mediocrity to greatness. So I offer a free, no obligation, 30-minute friendly Zoom consultation call, which will allow me to find out more about the issues that you're experiencing as an individual. And we can then discuss any questions or concerns that you may have. So if you are a public speaker, author, coach, or an entrepreneur who just wants to multiply your income by doing what you love so deeply, I do what I love so deeply so that no situation can take me away from that. So go out there and book that free consultation call on my website, www.risetogreaterheights.com, and go on, book a consultation, and then we'll take it from there. I will help you. I will help you to find clarity and focus to start or even grow your business, to show you how to start or even scale your business with just one simple offer. I will guide you on how to find your niche and connect your messages to what your dream clients want. I will also guide you on how to create and structure your own signature program. Just that. Perhaps maybe you want to write and publish your book in the next 90 days. Yes, you can. I can definitely help you to make that happen. Because my ultimate goal is that you feel extremely confident about your purpose. We are here for a purpose. We are here to serve a purpose for a purpose. So with me, you are going to gain clarity. You're going to learn about your mind and take action to create your own unique transformation, because we will just take it one step at a time, and you are going to transform. If you give me your why, I will give you your how. So this consultation offers accountability, education, as well as growth and success. And I can also help you because you know what? I've been there. 5 years ago, I wasn't this person. I was just lost in the hustle. I was exhausted. I was overwhelmed. I had a ton of ideas, but I didn't have the tried and true strategy to run with it. So it was only when I started investing in coaching and created my first premium offer that things started to change. And then I built an income generating business, doing what I love and making a real impact around the world. So now it's your turn. It's your turn to build your wealth. Go out there and book that call, because the power is within you. So if your current business doesn't generate enough sales, you feel stuck, you are lacking the direction, it means it's high time. Book that call with me. Just give yourself a second chance. I am a results-driven coach, so I'm going to teach you strategies and techniques on how you can actually overcome your weaknesses face your fears and successfully move forward. I want to empower you. I want you to become a highly effective and an inspiring leader with just a personalized, measurable, and scalable program. So go out there, book the call, good people, on my website, www.risetogreaterheights.com. Because you know what? Growing up, I didn't have much in life because my father decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth. And I thank God that I missed that flight, because I'm still here. I'm still sharing my message with the world, because I had everything because of my mama's love. And I love you, love you, love you so much, mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. Thank you so much to our audience. So at this moment, please, our amazing speakers, please feel free to share with the audience how they can reach out to you. If you have any freebie that you want to offer, share with the audience, as well as sharing your final thoughts on the subject, mental health. So Chandra, the stage is yours, Queen.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. This has been an amazing experience. I would just say that if you want to get in contact with me for more information, just talking about mental health relationships, as well, I have my own network coming out. It's called the Modern Woman's Network, and I'm looking for business, ministry leaders, entrepreneurs, and real estate investors to talk about more of this content. So you can find me on Facebook at Kendra W3, as well on Instagram as KNWorthy_88. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see Pastor Tammy. Thank you so much, Chandra. I believe that the audience is going to reach out to you because they need this. They need someone who will hold them accountable. So you can go ahead. I don't see Pastor Tammy. So you can go ahead, Dr. Mierzwick. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Yes, people can reach me at Susie Mierzwick at LinkedIn or Susan E. Mierzwick on Facebook. Just friend me on Facebook, and then we can communicate through Facebook Messenger. And I have a empowerment program called Self-Worth, the Missing Link, that can help you rise to be the person that you wanted to be, but you didn't know was inside you. And you can also connect with me by getting my book, Sow in Tears, Reap in Joy, A Transformational Journey. And I share with you the strategies that you can use to rise yourself out of whatever you're dealing with. So Susan Mierzwick on Facebook and Susie Mierzwick on Instagram and LinkedIn.
Thank you so much, Dr. Susie. I believe that our audiences reach out to you. They'll have to get that book. I need that book. I need that book. You can go ahead, Jimmy, and share with the audience, please.
You can, thank you for having me, and you can follow me on, the best way to find me is go to crazyfitnessguy.com. All my social media profiles are on there. Crazy Fitness Guy, you can follow Crazy Fitness Guy on social media and myself. You can also, and other ways to find me to go is I have a podcast called Crazy Fitness Guy Healthy Living Podcast. It's a monthly podcast. And also I have a live stream every Friday and streamed to 12 platforms. And I'm also on Blast Radio, so you can hear me on the radio wherever you go. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm pretty much all over the place.
Oh, wow.
Maybe I'm a little too crazy.
No, I like that craziness. If you call it crazy, I want to be that crazy. So go out there, good people, and reach out to Jimmy if you want to be on his platform. If you need an advocate, go out there, reach out to Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy. You can go ahead, Aparna, and share with the audience, please.
Yeah, thank you. You can find me at on Facebook and Instagram at Beauty in Parenting, BEAUTYIN Parenting. And my website is beautyinparenting.com. You can book a free consultation there as well so I can hear your needs and help support you through mindfulness or parent coaching. I also offer a free one-page self-care and priorities chart that's been super helpful for so many families and so many people the past 2 years. You can put it on your wall or your fridge or have it on your phone to help you stay organized and productive and calm. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Go out there, good people. Thank you, Aparna. Go out there, good people, and reach out to Aparna, and also for that free guide that she's offering. Go out there. Can they get it from your website?
Yeah, it's on the website, beautyinparenting.com. It's right there. Yeah.
Okay, sounds perfect. So go out there, grab the transformational guide from Aparna, and yes, reach out to her. Thank you so much, amazing speakers, for being with us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network. Really, we don't take your time to be here for granted. I know we're all busy. You've got your own busy schedules, but you've decided to honor the invitation. So thank you so much, our amazing speakers, and to our amazing audience online. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope from all these amazing messages, from all these amazing speakers, you've been inspired, you've been motivated, and you are ready to rise to greater heights. So do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Siyabonga.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody spread the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as